Hello and welcome to the second episode of the AskScooby Forum Spotlight, or Rampenlicht for all the Germans out there. Today we celebrate the second episode. My second guinea pig today is, fellow moderator, Little Sprite, also known as John. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's all right.
Okay, so you prepared for today's exam, I think. You should be able to answer all the questions, hopefully,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's good to hear. So let's jump right into it. I think many people know you because you have how many posts? 10,000?
Many posts.
Okay. So let's start off with the general stuff. If you want to share some personal information, like where you're from, current job, or what you're studying, stuff like that.
Sure. I'm originally from Italy, actually. I was born there and I moved here to the United States. I'm now a resident of New York. And I'm studying economics, and I'm a senior, and I graduate this May.
So how old are you actually?
I am 20 years old.
20 years, 1 year younger than me actually.
Yes.
All right, and how tall are you?
How tall am I? I'm 5'9".
Okay, a little bit shorter than me. Anyway.
Does that make you feel good?
I'm not that tall myself. I mean, I'm like, I don't know. I use the metric system, so I don't know how many.
Well, that's all right. Go ahead.
It's like 180, 179. That's like 5'10", right? 5'11".
That's like on the higher end of average.
Yeah, but it's not that tall. Like, we got people on the forums who are like 195. Or even at my job, I have a coworker who's like 195. He's a tall guy. Also black guy.
Oh, okay. We're going there. I see.
No,
Just kidding.
Not yet, man. It's not yet. Not yet time for the forum questions.
Give it 20 minutes and then, yeah. Anyway.
So, how long have you been lifting, actually?
I've been lifting since October of 2010.
So, a bit over 2 years? I guess
Yes.
I guess your first workout was not the regular noob workout, right? It was already based around compound exercises, already filled with squats and deads and stuff like that, right?
No, well, my first workout was actually before that. But I don't really consider that a time where I worked out.
Okay, so you say you're seriously working out since 2010, October. Okay, yeah. So what have you done before that?
Well, before that,
just messing around.
Well, freshman year, we have a really crappy gym at our school.
Okay.
So, which is filled with machines and useless equipment mostly. But it's actually, they put in a better cable machine now, but it used to be filled with crappy equipment. So I went there and I decided, like, what the hell? Like, it's here. I might as well do something with it. So I just started doing like pull-ups, push-ups, some other probably poorly performed cable exercises.
But that's not too bad, right? It's nothing like daily sit-ups or stuff like that.
I didn't really do any leg stuff. I did jump squats, unweighted jump squats every once in a while. And actually the first time I did jump squats, the day after, I was going to my friend's house and I stepped off a curb and my legs were so sore that I was barely able to step off a curb and maintain balance.
Oh man, it's always like that. The first workout, the soreness is
I know, I did not expect it.
Tough.
But at that same time, that first leg soreness was probably planted the seed for the squats later on, for real squats. But I wasn't able to do real squats for a while, actually, because I didn't have the facilities to do so. So that summer when I came back home, I got a dumbbell set, and I actually did Scooby's intermediate workout.
Okay, I did that too.
Back when it was a little different. Yeah. Or I think he might have switched back to the original now, but I did Scooby.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think he changed his intermediate and his beginner workout a couple of times. I'm not sure how they look now. I just remember that the only leg exercise when I did it was lunges, I think, and nothing else. So
yeah, I'll tell you a little secret, Danny.
Yeah,
I often skip the lunges. Um, but
They are really tiresome, actually.
I know that, and you know what? At that time, I really was not well versed. Not to say that I am now, but I was not well versed in exercise and working out
I think
concepts.
everybody. Yeah, no, everybody has to start somewhere, and nobody's perfect. The second they pick up weights, except maybe the pros like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. I mean, I didn't feel like I gained a lot of muscle, but other people were like, "Oh, you look bigger," blah blah blah. So I was like, "Okay." And
yeah, you see yourself in the mirror every day. You might not even notice it.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly that, and I felt like I was getting stronger. I definitely ran out of weight in terms of dumbbell presses because a dumbbell set doesn't come with much weight.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't. That's why I don't really consider that working out because it was like half
messing around. Yeah, like I wanna look better or something like that, and you just do the first thing. You don't even look around what would be the best thing. You just think for yourself, there are some dumbbells. I've seen this guy do this and that, and I will try this myself, see how it goes. But it's...
I did push-ups and stuff throughout high school, but just really push-ups. That was because I did like a martial arts class, and the guy told us we should be doing push-ups. So I was like, okay, I'll do push-ups. I was also really
push-ups are great, yeah.
I was also really light back then. I was like 150 something to 160 pounds, and push-ups were a lot easier then.
Yeah, I noticed it with my pull-ups. They've gotten a little more difficult since I gained a couple of kilos.
Yeah.
But anyway, since you mentioned the intermediate workout from Scooby, when did you actually come across the Ask Scooby forum? Because I think you watched his videos first.
Yeah, I came across the Ask Scooby forum, I think.
2011 sometime?
No. Earlier than that. I think early 2010. And okay. I didn't join for a little while, and then after I joined, I didn't post that much for a little while. But
lurking a lot, or what?
Sorry?
Lurking around?
Yes, I did lurk quite a bit, yes.
Okay. So, I think many people, they had a question related to your username, like, do you drink a Sprite or something like that?
Okay.
So, your username is Little Sprite. Where is this from?
Here's where Little Sprite comes from.
Okay.
A Sprite is many things. One of the definitions, though, is a fairy-like creature, right? Mm-hmm. However, that is not the definition that I'm going for.
Are you like some hardcore Flash programmer? Because
no.
Okay.
No. A Sprite is also like a little plant, also called a sprout sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I think Sprite is also one of the ways that you can say it. So Little Sprite is like a little plant that's growing. And I thought, that's appropriate, right? But everybody seems to either zero in on the drink or the fairy aspect of it, and neither of those are really what I was going for. So,
oh man, that's mean. That's great. I think everybody... Okay, I don't have a special story behind my username because my name is Danny, so... Wow. Surprise, surprise. But even Polished had his own little story with polishing his trumpet. So that's great. So it's actually not the soft drink. That's good to hear because,
I don't even like Sprite, really.
Yeah, it's unhealthy. No, but I like it. I'm sorry. I'm guilty.
Yeah, I drink Diet Sprite once in a while if it's available, and I never really go out and buy soda, but if it's there, I'll have it.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, what is your current workout routine? How does it look like?
My current workout routine is a little all over the place, but it basically has
squats and deads.
Well, no, it does not right now because I
had you have some problems, right?
And yeah, I can't squat and dead for a couple more months, but and I can't bench press either. But right now I have floor presses in my routine, so it's really like a horizontal pushing day and a vertical pushing day alternated. Mm-hmm. And a leg isolation day, so which obviously is less than optimal. But my main exercise for horizontal is some kind of floor press, and with some assistance. So a lot of back assistance, a lot of rowing, and a lot of and some tricep stuff.
So you have a barbell, right? Because you said you can bench press. Is it because you usually bench from or in a power rack, or do you not have a spotter, or what is the problem?
Well, the problem is that when I lay down on the bench, the area of my ass that is touching the bench is where the wound is. So
okay.
I can't.
But floor press works?
Floor press works because I don't have an arch in the floor press. I have like a minimal arch, but obviously I can't get my legs underneath me because I'm on the floor.
Okay.
So there's no real pressure on the wound. In fact, the ass is not doing any of the stabilizing, really. It's the feet that have a lot of pressure on them and the upper back, which is kind of how it should be, at least in my opinion. So yeah, I can't really bench too comfortably yet, unless I keep my butt floating above the bench, but I don't want to get into the habit of that.
Yeah, of course.
So that's one thing. The horizontal is really a floor press. I can do dumbbell or barbell floor press, and vertical is overhead press, and again more back assistance, chin ups, rows. I do some arm stuff once in a while.
Take care of the guns.
Yeah, which is really not a lot of things. It's like I might do some curls or.
But you do a lot of compound stuff, so.
Yeah. And the legs is just leg extensions and what is basically a leg curl. It's like a leg curl on the glute ham raise. So it's like the top half of a glute ham raise where it's just the knee.
Can you do a glute ham raise?
I can't do a glute ham raise going all the way involving hip extension because the hip extension would put a lot of stretch on the tissue where the wound is. So I just stop before the hip extension, essentially when I'm parallel to the ground, and then come back. So it's really just a hamstring curl.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that answers the next question. You don't work out at home, right? You have a... You don't work out at home.
Yes. Yeah, I don't work out at home.
Because it's
work out at a gym.
I mean, the AskScooby forum is the home fitness forum, or a friendly home fitness forum. I mean, you know that we talked about this.
Yeah.
But in the moderator forum, but a lot of people actually don't work out at home. I mean, I work out at home, so to say, because I work out at my neighbor's place, you know, and I have my own power rack there and stuff like that. But there are a lot of people who actually go to the gym. I don't mind, but it's just funny that so many people are actually not working out at home. I think even Scooby works out in the gym a lot of times, right?
Yeah, I think when he wants to do leg press or I think when he does cardio indoors.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's all right. I mean, I like working out at a gym. I don't think I'd like working out at home as much. I like talking to people in between sets, and I like to have a lot of people there just in case you need a spot. Or I mean, I work out with paralysis actually.
Yeah.
So usually I have a spot and I spot him if he needs it. But and I've also had other people to spot me throughout the time that I've been there. So I've always had someone, but when they're not there, it's good to, have someone else too.
Yeah, that's true actually. But I mean, I have the power rack, so I mean, recently I failed a squat at 140 kilos, and that wasn't really a problem. So I think if the weight gets higher, maybe then there might be a problem. But right now, it's not for me. So, but you're right. I think the only issue I have at gyms, at commercial gyms, is that I have to share equipment with other people. I'm not sure how crowded your gym is.
It's not that crowded.
There are many commercialized gyms in Vienna. Okay, you just messaged me.
I did. Yeah, I was just letting you know that your audio is getting a little choppy.
Okay. I'm not sure what's the problem. The quality goes up and down sometimes.
Okay, yeah. So if I say what? Say that again. Bye.
No problem. That's no problem, really. So, as I said, in Vienna there are a lot of big commercialized gyms, and if you don't go there like at 3 in the morning or something, there will be lots of
yeah.
people
See,
there.
my gym is a private gym actually. It's not one of those New York Sports Club or Equinox, like one of those big popular gyms. It's just that it's a privately owned gym, and it's actually less expensive than those other gyms. So there's a lot of personal training that goes on, but personal trainers tend to stay away from the squat rack anyway. So I don't,
Yeah,
you know, most of the stuff that I do is in the like I floor press in the rack. I don't use the rack per se. I mean, I use the J hooks to
rack the bar, right?
But I use it for that. I use it for overhead press, and those are the other things that I really use it for. Other than that, and when I'm not on it, probably nobody else is on it. So,
okay, that's great because I'm not even sure if the commercial gyms already have the Power Racks. I think I heard a coworker mentioning that Power Racks are kind of new and I don't know what, innovative or stuff like that. But I mean, they have been around for ages, and I mean, I bought mine in 2010.
Yeah.
So I think my home gym is pretty decent. The only thing that's missing is like a hamstring curl machine, something like that, or triceps push downs. I can't do that. Also, dips are a bit suboptimal at the moment.
You could actually do push downs if you attach a dumbbell to a rope and then swing it over the top of your power rack. You can do it that way.
I thought about it, but I'm so clumsy. I can't probably not even install dip rings or something like that, because I would love to do ring dips.
Actually, there's a guy coming in the gym now that I see pretty often, and he has CrossFit shirts on. So I think he was a member of the CrossFit branch in New York before it closed. But he brings in dip rings, his own rings, and he attaches them to like the top of the cable machine, and he does his. He doesn't really do dips. I think he does like an iron cross progression. So he's actually pretty strong, and he does a lot of mobility stuff in between sets. So CrossFit trained, but no, I haven't seen him do anything too CrossFit crazy. I have to trademark that. I said I haven't. I haven't seen him I haven't seen him do anything CrossFit crazy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's move on. As you're drinking water right there.
So this is my Bugs Bunny glass, by the way.
Okay, right. Because that leads me to the next question. What's your favorite beverage?
My favorite beverage or food. Those are two very different categories.
Yeah, or both.
Yeah. My favorite beverage, seltzer. Seltzer water? Yeah. Which is not what I'm drinking. I'm drinking regular water. But I wish I was drinking seltzer water. And my favorite food is steak.
Wow, so many steak lovers out there, but I guess...
I mean, come on.
It's true, but I think I would get other answers if I would be doing interviews with girls or something like that.
If you ever do an interview with STP, then steak will not be his favorite food because he's a vegetarian. So
okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Or a vegetarian. But for the
shout out to STP,
the meat eaters out there.
If he watches this, I know who you are.
Actually, he has a question for you later on. So that will be interesting. Other than that, let's jump to the next question. Favorite music, favorite song, favorite artist?
Favorite artist is the Red Hot Chili Peppers by far.
Okay.
Favorite song, I don't have one.
Just name a few if you don't have one.
Okay. Well, some of them are probably by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. I mean,
I really like the album Stadium Arcadium. I think it's their best album. And off of that, I like Turn It Again. I really love that song. Let's see. Now I am blanking out on all the songs that I like. I don't really have favorite songs.
You just like the band. You just like listening, skimming through the songs, relaxing.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm like a big music person. You know, like I'm an intern at Warner Brothers Records.
Oh,
So
okay.
I am involved in music more than it seems through this interview, just because I can't think of anything. But
That's
it's
okay.
always
That's
when
okay. I
someone
mean,
asks me, I can never think. Actually, when I interviewed for that, the guy's like, "So, like, what bands do you like?" And I'm like, "Okay, I like the
I
Red."
don't
Yeah,
know.
I was like, "I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like Muse. I like Audio
Okay.
Slave. I like a bunch of different bands, and I like happened to choose like the biggest bands, like nothing cool and interesting, you know." And then I was like,
Nothing
I looked through my
underground.
iTunes and I'm like, there's so many bands I could have listed,
Like 500 artists
and
and
like I couldn't
all
think
big
of
keys there.
anything.
Yeah. I mean, you said you could do this on the spot,
I
so
know.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
It's all
But
right.
it's fine.
Yeah.
So, other hobbies. What hobbies do you have? Do you like to skate? Do you like skiing?
No.
No.
Hobbies
No skiing.
besides lifting. Well, I like playing music. I play bass and
Okay. Do you
guitar.
play this? Oh,
Um, and right now I'm also trying to compose a piece, which is not for school technically. It's like a workshop held by the music teacher in my school, the music
okay.
professor, but it's not like for credit or anything, and I don't have to do it. But
Yeah.
it's for clarinet, violin, and double bass, which to me is an awkward combination of instruments, and I'm having difficulty coming up with anything cool sounding. And I also have to do it by Thursday.
What was the first one? Violin, bass, and what
Clarinet,
else?
violin, and bass.
Clarinet. What the hell? Do you know the
Clarinet.
band Yellow Card?
Sorry.
Do you know the band Yellow Card?
Yes.
Because they play pop, rock, and violin. I don't know.
Yeah.
That came to my mind.
Yeah. I
But
mean, the violin is not the biggest of my problems. The problem
okay.
is like coming up with something cool and novel.
Original.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
Okay.
breaking any ground in terms of violin, bass, or clarinet playing, obviously. But um, I just want to come up with something that I like, that I think is good. And then if someone else, I mean, I generally think if someone writes something and they really think it's good, people are also going to think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, so that's one thing that I'm working on now. Other hobbies, I like
Okay.
cooking.
Oh.
When I have more time to cook, I generally like doing something a little nicer. And I think that brings an end to my list of hobbies. I don't really have a lot of hobbies.
Lurking around on the
Yeah.
forums. On the music section in
No.
bodybuilding.com.
No,
Not.
I don't think I think I visited that twice, and I didn't really know what to do when I was on there. So
Well, just lurk. You don't have to do anything. Just enjoy.
I guess.
Just enjoy.
I guess I've lurked on I've lurked on Fit Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I don't do it too much anymore, but I do during the summer when I don't have anything to do. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's your favorite website or blog regarding weightlifting or fitness, nutrition, stuff like that? Do you have what are your resources?
I think my favorite blog for lifting is actually Mobility Wad. I think
Okay.
they have really excellent pieces and stress the importance of mobility, obviously, and performing the movement correctly, because that's what brings you the most benefit. And there's other blogs that also emphasize that, I guess, but such as 70s Big, I really like. What else? I can just look through my bookmarks. XKCD, which is not related to lifting, but I like that a lot.
XKCT is
Yes,
a comic, right?
yeah. I subscribe to Chaos and Pain, which is Jamie Lewis' blog.
Yeah. Jamie Lewis.
Evil Cyber's website, jimwendler.com. And I also
Anything T Nation?
yeah, T Nation. And I also subscribe to John North's and Donnie Shankel's blogs. they're two lifters on Cal Strength. Well, not Cal Strength, Muscle Driver USA, and actually Donnie's not with them anymore. But I still read his things, and I don't do Olympic lifting, but I still like to read their posts, and I still like to watch Olympic lifting. Once in a while, I'll watch the live stream that MD USA has. And hey, Tim. Hey. And on YouTube, I subscribe to a couple powerlifters. I subscribe to Donnie Thompson's channel, which is Super DTV 3000 or something like that.
John Bros.
Yeah, right? John Bros, of course. Cal Strength.
Yeah.
What else? Mike Tuchschere's, Eric Cressy's channel. The Mobility Wide channel, of course. Scooby.
Shout out to Scooby.
What other big lifters do I? Konstantin Konstantinov's. Super Training. Super Training. Is that TV? Is that their channel?
I don't know. I haven't heard of it.
Super Training 06, that's the channel, but it's Mark Bell's channel.
Okay.
And then Jim McDonald's channel, who also, they release about the same videos usually, but.
So basically a lot of different kind of people, and you spend a lot of time watching videos, reading articles, stuff like that.
I wouldn't say a lot of time, but some time.
I think for me it's like sometimes I'm not really into it, but then I read a good article and then I just keep reading on and watching videos and stuff like that, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I always also when I really find that I have a certain weakness or something like that, I look up on that and then I really try to fix it. So that's also a time when I really watch more or read more than usual. But other than that,
well, I read like the Daily T Nation articles and stuff like that.
I don't do that.
That they're not all useful, but once in a while, like you get a really good writers like Brett Contreras will write something good, or
I'll usually read the articles that, oh my god, King Neptune or people like that link. So he usually links some pretty good stuff, or Al Xavier, our savior. I don't know. He will tell me how to pronounce it. He will teach me soon, probably. So anyway, last question before we jump into the member questions. How did consistently working out change your life?
Well, I actually have thought about this before, and I think one way that it changed my life, or how I think about things, is that when you work out, there's a direct measurable amount of input, of work, of energy, and then there's an amount of output, and those two things are proportional. So when you put in more work, and not just lift heavier and more, it's put in more work in terms of dedication, in terms of diet, in terms of sleep, in terms of thinking about your routine, in terms of performing the exercises correctly, in terms of being mentally present while you do your workout. The more of that you put in, the more you get out of strength, muscle mass, coordination, whatever. And flexibility, because even maintenance counts as work put in. You have to be able to perform the movement correctly to actually benefit from it.
Yeah.
So the more of that you put in, the more you get out. And that's one of the lessons that I think is applicable to any activity in any situation. The more you put into school, the more you get out. Not that I'm a huge fan of school, but that's just an example. The more you put into any kind of activity, the more you get out. And there's really not too many things where you can actually measure the amount that you're putting in, such as working out. A lot of things have so many different variables that involve other people as well. You know, like obviously, let's take school for example. You know, you can put in all the work you want, but then there's the professor grading your work. There's other things involved there. But in weightlifting, not Olympic weightlifting, in lifting weights, there's just you and what you put in. So it's a really good way to teach yourself discipline, actually, you know, and then
Definitely.
Teaching yourself to grind through hard reps.
Don't quit.
Exactly.
Because if you quit, you've already lost. Right?
And then there's also the aspect of sometimes something doesn't work. You have to find a way around it. You have to be resourceful. You have to adapt. You know, and I think those are all good lessons that have come from weightlifting. And other than that, I mean, obviously, I've gotten bigger. I've gotten stronger. So there's those things as well. But those things are
more confidence too.
Yeah, and of course, developed a passion for working out, and I want to train other people, and so I think many things have come out of me working out, and it was very unexpected, I have to say, because I started really working out after I watched a couple of videos of powerlifting, and I thought, when I saw people squatting like hundreds of pounds and deadlifting and benching hundreds of pounds, it was like, well, I want to do that. You know, like how cool would it be to do that? And even if
so, when are you going to compete?
I actually, back in January, things were going really, really well for me in terms of lifting. I hit a 375 squat, I had a 240 bench, and a 385 deadlift. Deadlift was like lagging behind a little bit, but and that was like they went up over like a month's time. My squat went up like 25 pounds over a month. Actually, a little more, probably like 30 pounds over a month. But things were going really, really well. And then the celiac disease caught up with me, and I was eating grains and stuff like that. I was eating pizza and pasta and blah 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 blah. Then I started losing weight, and I don't know why. And that's another thing, actually, though, is that when you put in all that work and you don't get what you're supposed to out of it, that's a really big kicker. That's like psychologically damaging, or like losing whatever gains you have when it's out of your control.
Yeah,
that's really something that hits you hard. And
but then again, it's just a point in time when you have to carry on, right?
Yeah.
Because if you quit, then you
exactly
everything you've done so far
yeah
will go to vain. So
yeah, I was doing pretty well in January, and then I haven't hit any of the lifts that I hit since January of 2012.
January.
Yeah, that
2013 was last week.
But I wanted back then. I actually wanted to compete this year, probably. Now, I mean, I wasn't out to win anything, but I felt that I could have closed in on a 405 squat by the summer if things had kept going the way they were going, and same thing for a deadlift. And then that would have put my total over 1,000, which was like something cool to have on paper, so to speak.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, now there's like plenty of users that could do that. Like, I'm sure Polished can total over 1,000, Get Big can total over 1,000. Juan can probably total over 1,000. I mean, there's obviously Mike can total over 1,000. So there's plenty of users now that can do it, and it was actually kind of not sad, but it was like watching all those people being able to like push forth, and I was sitting there like twiddling my thumbs basically because I couldn't Like now, I still can't squat and deadlift.
Well, that
you know
sucks.
what I mean? And then
That sucks.
yeah.
Man.
So, but hopefully, I can compete in like 4 or 5 years, maybe. I don't know. Whenever I feel like things are getting back on track.
Just keep on doing what you're doing, man. You will get there. So, let's jump into the member questions. Actually, I think we already recorded over half an hour, so maybe we should especially do the Hokuto answers.
Yes.
Quite fast. So, the first question, always the first question, man, is from Minimalist. The question is, do you even lift?
Do.
I'm just kidding. Okay, yes. The next question is from STP, actually. And he's asking, do you consider starting a personal YouTube channel or
I actually do have a personal YouTube channel.
You do have one
I don't
already?
really upload any videos to it. I do upload videos, but they're set on private so that I have to give the link, and it's usually when I want to like show off the fact that I was able to do some muscle ups, which are not that impressive, by the way.
Okay.
Having done muscle ups, I don't feel they're very impressive or useful.
You have to tell me the link to your channel, man. I will put it in the description of the video.
I mean, there's really like nothing on there to watch.
But whatever, maybe sometime in the future.
Mop Water 09.
I will not remember that.
Well, I'll tell you later. But
okay. But basically, he's asking if you want to share your experience because I mean, you suffer from diabetes. Do you want to?
I have a blog.
Share that.
Which I don't even update too frequently, and I'm getting a lot of spam posts on. By the way, I have to get rid of that. Yeah. But I have a blog, and I don't write about training that much. You know, I feel like the forum is probably my release in terms of writing and reading stuff about training, and obviously talking to paralysis workout.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't really need anything other than that. Plus, I don't think I'm really qualified to be talking about training on such a large scale like YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, you don't have to be that specialized. I mean, you can always do.
Sorry.
Welcome to the gun show. No, the thing is, I mean, you can do really basic stuff, beginner stuff, and you can still be popular or stuff like that. Or you, for example, I mean, not everybody has diabetes, of course.
Thank God.
I mean, there have to be hundreds of people out there who suffering from diabetes, right?
Yeah.
And I think they could benefit from it, maybe. I mean, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, obviously. I'm just saying it could help some people, even if you just write some guidelines for people with diabetes, for like an excellent posting candidate, stuff like that, for the forums, you know.
I'll think about it.
I mean, no pressure, man. No pressure. Okay. So actually, a very good question from Moon Sugar Vec. Don't know what the last part means, but Moon.
Apparently, it's a character from some video game.
Okay.
I think it's like I don't know. I'm not even gonna.
Okay, I will just call him Moon Sugar. That's fine. He's asking, what do you bring to the gym in addition to what other gym goers take? Like, he's saying that you had some trouble with sugar at some point. And
so I
obviously, but
what you used to see me do in the gym is now I'm a little better about it. I prepare a little better, but I used to bring M&Ms to the gym, peanut M&Ms, and people used to just like in between sets I would test my blood sugar. So obviously I bring my meter, and if it's a little lower than where I want it to be, I used to just munch on M&Ms, right? And then people were like, "Are those like special diabetic candies?" And I'm like, "No, like, dude, they're M&Ms. They're like peanut M&Ms." So, but I bring M&Ms. I bring juice.
Okay.
I used to bring Pop-Tarts before I was celiac, obviously. But anything sugary, anything I bring with me. Lifting straps. That's pretty common, though. Wrist wraps.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
referring to stuff related to diabetes. Like, what do you?
Yeah, really just juice and my meter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next question from Dank is, what's your favorite TV show?
Lost.
That was a short answer. On to the next question from, I don't know how to pronounce this. Adu Avas
Yes.
would be German for me. You know the guy,
No,
right?
I don't.
He's asking.
Oh no, I thought you meant like there's a German guy with the same name, and I was like, I don't know.
No.
I know who. I know the
It's
user. Yeah.
It's spelled
Yeah, I know.
ADUH. Okay. He's asking, do you feel that elite level athletes are creating unreal expectations for average shows?
No, I don't. I don't think they're creating unreal expectations, because you have to realize that there are people who are way better than you at things, and that they're elite at their sport. But they may not be elite at something else. You know what I mean? So everybody, not everybody, but people will generally find something to be really good at. And it really can't make other people feel bad about it, because other people may be good at something else, or they may be able to be at the same level. Obviously, a lot of being at that level is probably due to steroids, but I mean, depending on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're unreal expectations. It also depends how you view it. You know, if you think that you should be as good as the elite athletes, then maybe it's an unreal expectation, but that's your problem then.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
that's
obviously
they are elite athletes because that's what they're good at. You know, like if you're a painter, you're a painter because you're good at painting. You know, like, is that an unreal expectations for everybody else who maybe paints casually, who's a casual painter? No, that's your job. You have to be good at it, you know.
Definitely. I think he is referring to, as you said, people like Ed Cohen, obviously Andy Bolton, and people like that. But I mean, if you use these people as a goal, then it's your own fault if you can't reach it. I mean, if you want to be at an elite level, then you also have to work out for decades at some point.
Yeah.
Also, with so much dedication every day, every week, every year. And I mean, I work out 3 days a week. I am in no way going to attempt to beat anyone's world record or stuff like that. I mean, that would be just silly. And as you said, everybody has something they're good at. I can do other stuff maybe better than these people.
I would bet
professional.
I would bet money on that.
So just keep on doing what you're doing if you enjoy it. I think that's also really important. You can't just work out every day, every week, and have zero motivation and actually don't like doing that at all. So if you like working out, then do it. If not, then don't do it. I mean, you don't have to. That's my take on this. So anyway, who am I gonna pick? Because I don't wanna. I have a lot of questions here printed out, you know.
Hey, I can give you quick answers.
Okay, so the purple orange asks 7-Up or Sprite?
Sprite.
Okay. He also asks, why just Little Sprite and not Large Sprite?
Because Large Sprite hasn't come to life yet.
Yeah, that's another. Okay. Let's move on to Juan RM.
By the way, note on that username, I just realized that it's one rep max. I never, for the longest time, did not realize Juan RM was the same thing as 1 rep max.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, you didn't realize that?
No.
All right, we're on the same boat then.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And then after I read that, I was like, wow, that's so goddamn clever. But anyway.
Then he's been contributing a lot of questions to the AskScooby forum spotlight and also to AskScooby Q&A.
Hey.
I think he was on the Skype calls, right? Anyway, he's asking, what do you think of Lance Armstrong's situation?
I think that he's being unfairly crucified for steroid use when everybody is, like every cyclist uses steroids, so
yeah.
He still has one less testicle than everybody else. I mean, let's talk about that, huh? Wait, is it one or?
I'm not sure. I just know that they stripped his...
The number of testicles he has is less than everybody else. We can can say that. And I don't care if he takes steroids or not. That's still impressive.
Okay. Whatever. Okay, I can't follow you on that, but okay. Young Dan asks, in your opinion, do you think some people with diabetes are put off weightlifting fitness, and if so, why?
I'm not sure I understand the question entirely, but the way I'm going to respond to that question is that some people, well, okay, so if by put off, you mean like by their own doing or by like a doctor's orders? No,
by their own doing. I'm pretty sure he means that.
Yeah, I think some people are discouraged from doing too much physical exercise because there's quite a couple of risks that come with it, and the difficulty in gaining strength and mass in the same way that a non-diabetic would is pretty hard. I mean, one of the people who competed in the Olympics this year, Matthias Steiner, he German, right?
Yeah.
He
Matthias Steiner.
He is diabetic, actually. He's type 1. And he has a book out, which I have not read, but I do actually want to read, except the fact that it's in German. But he did very, very well. I think he got gold 2 Olympics ago as a super heavyweight. And
also he got injured, right?
Yeah.
This Olympics. That was the big incident.
Yeah. But he's a fighter. You know, he went for all his attempts and when he could and stuff like that. And, you know, he's excelled. So it's definitely possible to do well. It's just hard. And I think that difficulty is what puts people off. And it's, you know, it's something I have to struggle with too. But it's, I think it definitely does put people off, unfortunately, because exercise really does help keeping the blood sugars more controlled, and you know, but that's just the way things are. I mean, not everybody is faced with difficulty and manages to make the best decision for them.
All right, so next question by Polished, actually. Do you feel that your strength is directly proportional to the number of days you haven't shaved or trimmed your beard?
Yes, I do. Actually, yeah.
All right. Next question is by Ruby. No, not Ruby. Sorry, it's Ruby90. I couldn't pronounce that last time. He's asking, if there was a magic pill to instantly get the physique you dream of, would you take it?
No.
Or he basically asks, or would you rather enjoy the process of working out and improving and work your ass off?
No, I would rather enjoy the process of working out, and I'm also not just interested in physique as much as I am strength. So I think he meant either one, though. Also, but no, I do.
Yeah. If you are one to strength,
I do enjoy the aspect of working out. Yes.
Okay, so you're a hard worker, I guess.
Maybe.
And you enjoy it, obviously. So I think we talked about this before. I think the last question will be a bunch of questions. If you want to read over Hokuto's contribution, so to say.
Let me find it.
How do you say it? You can say it in English like Hokuto, or you can say it in German like Hokuto.
Those sounded the same to me.
Hokyu and Hoku. Hokuto-chan.
This conversation is spiraling out of control.
I hope I didn't offend him. Just answer the questions. And also tell the questions, because if you just say yes, yes, no, no, I think nobody will get it.
I'm just looking for the link for the questions right now.
Okay.
So when I find that, we can begin. In the meantime, if you want to ask me something else, feel free.
In the meantime, I could ask you from... Oh my god, I'm so bad at pronouncing usernames, man. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for all the bad pronunciation.
That's okay.
Odysseus would be
Odysseus.
in German. Odysseus? Yeah. Okay. What is your biggest bodybuilding achievement so far? But I guess you can change it to biggest powerlifting or strength training achievement so far. What is it? Why is it?
I cannot
biggest?
do it anymore. My biggest achievement was a 375 squat. And
Okay.
why was it my biggest? Because it was hard as balls, and I just did it. It was like, bam. And I was like, I'm going to do a single today, and it's going to be a heavy single. And I did it,
Okay.
and it felt good. And I was like, wow, like 375 is like not a terrible squat. And it was at a body weight of like 180 something, like low 180s, you know. So
yeah,
I was proud to have broken the 2 times body weight barrier.
that's always a great thing, you know, to break those barriers, like 1.5 bench, body weight, like triple deadlift.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Haven't hit that.
Yeah, I haven't touched it either, but I've managed to break the double bodyweight deadlift, so that's also not bad.
Okay, so I'm actually on the page now. Also, to answer one rep max, I am not gay. You did ask that as a supplementary question.
I know, but I did not include that because what a troll, man! Don't feed the trolls.
All right.
Okay.
Favorite recipe for chocolate chip cookies? Don't eat chocolate chip cookies. I don't like them. Let's see. Blah blah blah.
Well, just go to the second page and answer the Hokuto questions, because there are a lot.
All right, here we go. I'll read the question, then an answer. All right. Okay, go. Do you feel diabetes holds you back in life in any way? Yes. Do you feel about... He didn't ask how. Do you feel... how do you feel about Wilford Brimley? I think he's a great spokesman for diabetes. Have you seen Memento? Yes, I like it. How about Panic Room? Yes. I really like Forrest Whitaker in Panic Room. I also like Forrest Whitaker. What haven't you contributed to the mod FAQ yet? Because I'm lazy. How much work is it being a mod and off topic? A lot. Aren't I an awesome mod? Yes. Are you smaller than most sprites? No, in fact, I'm bigger. What's the difference between a sprite and a pixie? Not very much, except a sprite has multiple definitions, as we talked about. Sprites, pixies versus sprites versus fairies. Who wins? I don't know. What's the best way to deal with goblins? Kill them. Does diabetes affect sprites differently than humans? Yes. What are elves really like? I don't know. I haven't met one. What's your favorite sport? Soccer. Favorite movie? Fight Club. How often do you brush your teeth? Twice a day. Generally, how long do you make your rope of dental floss? I'm not a very habitual flosser, as I should be, but I would say about yay long. What is it about roofing that appeals to you so much? Next question. What is
that?
What do you think about when alone at night? I actually think about lifting. Do you shave your body? No. Can you name all the United States? No, because well, something about that question is just grammatically incorrect, because the country name is United States. So the way he phrased it, he means, can you name all the United States? Well, every state is united because no state is broken within itself. Is New York as cool as the movies make it out to be? Yes. Have you ever met Al Pacino? No. Have you tried the soft drink Sprite? Yes. What hour were you born? Don't know. Can you swim? No. What can't you do that most people can? Not much. What's your favorite fabric to feel against your skin? Cotton. 100% cotton at that. If you had an hour to spend $1,000,000, how would you spend it? Buying lots of food. Would you ever do a musical collaboration with Elton John? No. Do you exfoliate and moisturize your skin? No. Have you tried to find your max speed and walking backwards? No. Backflips? No. Favorite color? Green. What's scarier? Snakes or alligators? Snakes. Pilot's license? No. 20. It's 2 a.m. and Scooby phones you and tells you to join him at the club. Do you go? Oh, yes. When you try to smell what the Rock is cooking, what do you smell? Sweat. Lots of sweat. Out of everyone you have lost touch over the years, who would you most likely to reconnect with? I haven't really lost touch with people. I think one of my bosses, though, I haven't spoken to him in about 1.5 years, and he was one of the most awesome people I've ever met, really. He's a priest. Monsignor, actually. Do you like puppies? Yes. Favorite brand of deodorant? Mitchum, even though I use something else. Do you ever think to be cool to shrink down and live with ants? No. What question do you wish someone would really ask you? None of the ones that you were asking me. Just kidding. Have you ever met a dragon?
Oh my God.
No. What's your greatest fear? Butterflies. I'm serious, but
What?
moving on. What stereotype of New York do you find most to be true? We're all mean people. Hot dogs or pizza? Pizza. What did you eat before the video? As Danny knows, I ate a disgusting chocolate-covered strawberry-flavored protein bar. Has anyone really been far?
It
Even
was delicious.
Yes. What is your favorite cheat food? I don't have cheat foods. All foods are good foods. Can you do a handstand? No, but I've tried unsuccessfully. Who's your favorite superhero? That's a tough one. Probably Superman, I guess. And they're all kind of lame, actually. What did you want to be when you grew up? I actually wanted to be an astronomer or a physicist. I lost my place. Has a movie, TV, video game, book? No, I don't cry. What is the gross? What is the grossest thing you've eaten? I don't know about that. I don't really eat gross things. Would you be more likely to be described as juicy or as swole? Probably juicy, just because I'm not swole. If the moon was made of cheese, would you eat it? Yes. What is your favorite planet? Uranus.
What the?
What if the moon was made of ribs? I would eat it even more. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Bonsai. Just kidding. I'm not that small. Maybe a pine tree. Are you intimidated by women taller than you? Sometimes. What's your favorite smell? Cooking meat. Do you accept fan mail? Of course. Have you ever considered becoming a magician? No. Do you remember your national anthem? Yes. Without looking, who is the ex-president?
I have to say a number.
Oh.
Who is the second president?
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Who was after? I know the first one. I know the first one was Washington. I just don't know the second one. I don't know a lot of them, actually, by number. Isn't Danny's accent awesome? Yeah, it is. If you were Danny's accent, how would you use your powers to change the world? I would speak to everyone. Can you be trusted with the not laugh codes, launch codes? And no, I cannot. What time do you usually like to go to bed? 2. Between 2 and 3, which is really late. How many hours do you usually get of sleep per night? I'd say I average 7. Are you a good singer? No. I don't like karaoke. What would you like to ask Danny? Let me think. Danny,
Nothing, man.
What are you having for dinner tonight?
My girlfriend is cooking spaghetti and meatballs. So
All right, good meal. I'm almost done here.
Thanks.
Can you refute Enver Hoxha? I don't know what that is. Do you? I don't know. Can you refute Enver Hoxha? Yeah.
Whatever.
How often do you skip workouts? Never. How have you ever stolen anything? Yes. How often do you wear black? Probably every day in some form or another. My shoes are black, so every day. Do you consider yourself very fashionable? Nope, quite the opposite. How many hats do you own? I think 2. Do you own a fedora? No. Have you ever worn a trench coat and a fedora costume? No. Can you teach us to use Sprite magic? I could, but then I'd have to kill you. Who would win, RoboCop versus Terminator? Obviously Terminator. When was the last time you enjoyed a nice day at the spa? Never. I am not a woman. Why do more people devote themselves to learning to play the cowbell? Because it's easy to play the cowbell. Do you enjoy badminton? Never played. What quality do you think is most important in being a true gentleman? Honesty. What quality do you think is most important in being a true lady? Honesty. What's the fastest you have driven? I've like 80 kilometers an hour. I don't have my driver's license.
Okay.
And I say kilometers because I was in Italy when that happened.
Okay.
You think Tom Cruise is a cool guy in real life? I think he would be an interesting guy. I don't know about cool. What's your favorite?
Who?
Tom Cruise.
Okay,
What's your favorite world wonder? The Pyramids of Giza. Do you think there are some crazy giant monsters under the ocean that could surface and take us out? I do think there's some crazy shit down there. I don't think they would surface though. What about some crazy giant monsters like deep underground? No. Do you think there's anything alive in the core? No. Can you introduce me to some sexy, elven ladies? No. They tend to stay away in their forests. If you could eat anything that would only affect you positively, what would be your staple food? Steak. Ever been to Harlem? Yes.
And that's it?
Yes.
Are you sweating already?
Not sweating. It is a little warm in here, though. I had the heat on.
Okay. So anyway, that's it for the member questions. We don't have a lot of time left. I have something to do in about 20 minutes. So I think the interview is already over an hour long.
Seriously.
So people will hate the length, but they will enjoy the inspiration.
Yeah, they could watch. They could break it up.
Of course, I
breakfast.
Can always watch it later
when they're on the toilet.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
All right, watching on the toilet. That's how you do it, man. So let's go to the main topic. Actually, I mean, will be a small main topic, like diabetes and bodybuilding, is it?
Yeah.
I think you could also talk about foam rolling, but foam rolling is not today's topic. So we already had some questions related to it, like what do you bring to the gym that other people don't take or don't bring. You talked about how it affects your gains and whatnot. Let's talk a bit about lifting, then nutrition, and also like everyday life.
All right, well, you tell me where to start.
So first off, let's start with lifting.
Okay.
So how does it affect you?
Well,
in short, what do you have to take care of? What are disadvantages that you have that other people don't have?
All right, so imagine this. Imagine going to the gym 10 minutes after you wake up, after getting 5 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep. Okay? That's how I feel when I go to the gym and I have high blood sugar. Imagine also that your blood is actually maple syrup. That's how I feel when I'm at the gym with high blood sugar, which is way more often than it should be. Basically what I'm trying to say is that high blood sugar and low blood sugar, although in a very different way, affect lifting. It affects coordination. It affects energy. It affects the actual maximal amount of force that you can input in a weight. And that's high blood sugar. Low blood sugar affects you in the way that if you have low blood sugar, you can't lift because you have to get that shit back up before you die. So I think that it has been a bit of a lot. I think probably my only obstacle has been diabetes, really. Even celiac is easy to deal with compared to diabetes. You just don't eat wheat. Like, God forbid, don't have pizza anymore. I mean, I love pizza, but,
at least you can have steak.
Yeah. But that's another thing too, is really controlling your blood sugar so that they're not high when you come in, but they're not too low that they'll get low before you leave. And part of it has to do with timing as well. So, one thing I've been doing for a couple months now is not going to the gym earlier than 2.5 hours after I've eaten my last meal, which is actually not the easiest thing in the world to do, because I really have to structure my day so that I eat at least once or twice before going to the gym. And then if I go to the gym like 3 hours or 3.5 or 4 hours after I've eaten, that means I won't eat for like 5 or 6 hours, because then I'll spend some time at the gym and then I come back home and I have to cook or make my shake, you know? So I really have to structure that so that like 2.5 hours I'm in there. And if it's too soon, then the insulin I just gave myself for the meal is going to work too fast and it's going to bring my blood sugar too low. So I don't want that either. And also, having insulin working in your system actually is not great for energy. It makes you a little sleepier. And it's different for people because they can get their insulin to non-diabetic people, I mean, because their insulin is endogenously supplied, and they can kind of like release just the amount that they need, you know what I mean? And they don't have any problem with that. But for me, the cycle is when you eat, it spikes your blood sugar, and then the insulin brings it down, because the insulin activation is supposed to spike kind of when the food spikes. But that process makes you really tired. So, you know, it's like eating and the itis, as they call it. But, you know, so if you time that poorly, then you're just going to have a really crappy workout.
Okay.
And it also affects the recovery as well. Your body does not recover with high blood sugar, and doesn't recover from open wounds, as I know firsthand. It doesn't recover from muscle damage very well, and obviously you want to maximize recovery. So those things are all. So, you know, not only will you have a bad workout, you also have bad recovery. So that's really hard. And then eating, of course.
Like eating it, I think eating it nutrition could be. We could talk about it at the same time.
So now you mean talk about it now? Yeah, sure. Okay, so with diabetes, you obviously have to watch your carbohydrate intake and be sure that you're pairing it with the correct amount of insulin. So, but then the correct amount of insulin changes based on your sensitivity. So if I had a really tough leg workout, I'm going to be more sensitive, so I need less insulin, right? If I've had an upper body workout, not as much. So that's one thing that you have to keep in mind, because when you give yourself too much insulin, then you go low. Okay, so now you fix that, so you drink juice. Well, in drinking juice, usually you want to drink enough juice that it gets you out of there pretty quickly, because you don't want to stay low, right? But then you overcompensate and you end up being high. And you can't take insulin because you just did take insulin to get it lower. So you have to stay with a high blood sugar for a couple of hours. Obviously, that's not good. So that's one of the things that happens. But aside from that, eating is not particularly easy, because I have to count my carbohydrates, which, I mean, people do when they're trying to lose weight. You know, like Polished, for example, is very good at counting his macros and calories.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I would say that it's a little different when you're counting carbs for the sake of your health and not just to lose weight. You know what I mean? Not that I'm not saying like one is like harder than the other, or
no,
you know
I know
I mean?
what you mean. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it also prevents you from eating a lot of foods. You can't as easily I can't really do carb cycling. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it like really edgier diets. I couldn't go the whole day without eating carbs. I couldn't At the same time, I couldn't have something like a refeed day, really, you know. And it's also a matter of getting enough energy, getting enough calories in. It's so much easier to get calories from carbohydrates than it is from protein and fat. And the thing about protein and fat is that when you eat too much protein and fat, some of that's converted to glucose, and your body will raise the blood sugar if you're diabetic, even if you're not eating actual carbohydrates. And controlling that, it can be hard because it happens like not immediately when you eat, but like 4 to 8 hours later. You can get a sudden spike out of nowhere, really. And I know there's one member on the forum, I forgot his name. He's also diabetic, and he does 2 boluses. So he does like a bolus when he eats, and then one later on to prevent that spike. He's calculated it very well, and I just haven't gone through the pain of experimenting and finding the right one. And you know, maybe one day I will, but for now, you know, like I'm trying to get the wound healed up and stuff like that. So,
of course,
what were some of the other things you said?
That's fine actually. I mean, it covers basically the nutrition a bit. Like, you don't really have to avoid a certain food.
I mean, I have to.
I mean, you just have to watch out for the carbs, right?
Yeah, I have to avoid wheat because I'm celiac. But you know, I mean, even as a diabetic, you can eat anything, but it's healthier to avoid very high GI carbs. You know, because they spike your blood sugar even before the insulin takes effect, and you don't want that. Because the spike in blood sugar, even if it's, you know, the variation between very high and very low that's what causes damage to your tissues. I mean, you don't want to stay high, but you don't want to get there if you can avoid it.
All right. So the last part, what was it again? The first was lifting, nutrition, and then I forgot.
Foam?
What? No, foam. I mentioned it because other people were saying you know your stuff about foam rolling, and I'm looking to buy one, but I'm not going to hijack this interview to ask you about the stuff. Maybe we can do another one. I will ask somebody else who also knows about this stuff, because I think you're one of the only people on the forums who are suffering from diabetes, so I thought that was a good topic. But other than that, I had... Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I forgot the I had a third.
Well, actually, if I can mention really quick, you know, you hear a lot of bodybuilders and stuff take insulin as a muscle growth agent. Yeah,
really?
A lot of bodybuilders take insulin because it forces more nutrients into their cell and it improves recovery.
Okay.
But you know, I think it's an interesting topic, and to, you know, a lot of people wonder, like, should I have high GI carbs after a workout to spike my blood sugar so that the insulin is higher? And I don't have I suppose a properly scientifically formed opinion on that, other than I think it's okay to do that. I don't think it's a must. The way the body works is that you have a hormone called amylin, I believe, which is also made in the pancreas. And it's actually, and I learned this last year, actually, also one of the things that stops being produced when you become diabetic along with insulin. I thought it was just insulin, but it's also amylin. And what amylin does is it slows down your digestion. It tells your stomach to, you know, like, hey, chill out here, so that you won't flood your body with carbohydrates or with nutrients, so that you have time to absorb it. And in a diabetic, it doesn't happen, right? So when that doesn't happen, that's when the spike happens. So, but your body naturally has a mechanism to stop blood sugar from spiking too much. And so that the insulin can work on it slowly and you can get a slower energy. So I mean, obviously you're going to get some sort of spike from having like a frosted donut, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think it's more important to meet your caloric requirements for your day and your macros for the day.
And get enough before a workout and stuff like that, so you don't feel sleepy, tired.
I think if you want to have a high GI carb after, like, go ahead. I think it does provide you with energy, like recovery energy faster. But I wouldn't fret over it. Like, some people post questions saying like how much time can I take to eat after a workout? Like, just eat when you can, you know what I mean? Like, if you can eat right away, then eat right away. If you can't, like, don't worry about it, you know? You can have a little something, an apple, to tide you over until you can have a real meal, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think many people, they say, oh my God, you don't have your protein shake after your workout.
Right.
How can you do that? You have to... They're talking about stuff like catabolic window, anabolic window, stuff like that.
Window, yeah.
I'm not too fond of that. Not too fond of that. I think, like you're saying yourself, basically have a good, nice meal after a workout. If you can't eat a whole meal directly after a workout because you work out at a commercial gym, then I think that's fine. If you really worry about losing muscle or stuff like that, I don't think anybody really is afraid of that.
Also, if you ever notice, nobody who has muscle is afraid of losing muscle. Only people who don't have muscle are afraid of losing muscle. Correlation?
I think you won't lose muscle if you wait an hour or so before you have your dinner or stuff like that. So, yeah. Other than that, you mentioned you have a blog, you have a YouTube channel. I will link that in the description. Also, your progress diary. Other than that, do you have any shout-outs?
Well, I don't know if Paralysis is going to watch this, but shout out to Paralysis.
Just force him, man.
I know, I'll be like, watch this. For being a good training partner, and some, friends on the forum, and King Neptune, Minimalist, Polished, Moon, STP, always with the great questions.
Of course, man.
I'm amazed when I read his posts, and just the cultural differences that you can just see from language and from the things that he talks about is amazing. Sexy Mama D, of course, one of the few female members in the forum.
Of course, yeah.
Who else? Everybody who submitted questions, thank you. And I appreciate, reading people's progress and people working on ideas to better themselves and better other people. And I really try to push that in the forum because I think it's a great collaborative way to expand the knowledge base, And we've been actually it's great to see the progress people have made. Get Big, for example, has made a ton of progress. You've made progress. The Big Tortuga, he's made a lot of progress recently, and
absolutely,
it's great to see that. So
great. So I'm glad you found the time to do this interview with me. I enjoyed it very much. I hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks for doing this with me. Thanks again for being my second
You're welcome.
pig. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it too. And I'm not sure who will be the next interviewee. I have some candidates, but we'll see who gets the spot. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day, because for me it's evening and for you it's
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay, here it
also
is
known as lunchtime.
7 p.m. Yeah. So that's it. Thanks again.
Have a good dinner, Danny.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.